Just as a flower gives out its fragrance to whomsoever approaches or uses it, so love from within us radiates towards everybody and manifests as spontaneous service. A quote by Swami Ramdas, an Indian Hindu saint, philosopher, poet, writer, and a spiritual master who was a teacher of Chhatrapati Shivaji. Hello, my name is Malathi, and this is my show titled The Impressive Empress. Here I talk to women leaders to understand what it takes to become a leader, to understand their journey from within, to understand the journey to becoming a female leader with a higher purpose. Our guest for the day is Shraddha Marathe, a dietitian by profession, working as a freelancer and also associated with Deendayal Research Institute, Delhi. She is a founder member of Foodrik, a web portal related to nutrition and wellness for children and their parents. After having served professionally in hospitals, fitness centers, she is now contributing to the grassroots community and generations to come. According to Shraddha, sticking to one's own roots helps one grow stronger. The emotional bonding with Mother Nature, as well as with our own people, is very important, and she asserts this can happen only through cultural and traditional aspects. She's currently working on documenting these aspects through folklore related to nutrition and water value. She considers herself to be a confident, motivational, and positive person who takes life as a challenge and lives happily through the ups and downs. I'm really happy to have her on the show talking to me about her transformational journey from Chinchewad, Pune to Delhi. Listen on to know what makes Shraddha the impressive empress. Hello, good afternoon, Shraddha. A very warm welcome to our talk show, The Impressive Empress. I hope you're doing fine today under these circumstances, and I hope your family is all doing fine.
I'm fine. I'm very much doing well. Thank you so much, Malti.
Yeah. So, can you please introduce yourself, Shraddha?
Yeah, sure. I'm Shraddha Marathe. I'm basically from Pune, Maharashtra, and born and brought up in Maharashtrian family. Till my master's degree, I was living in Pune, and after that, we moved out of Pune. It's more than 16 years now. We have been traveling all over the world, you can say, few places in India and other places to abroad. So my education started in Pune, and I completed my education till master's degree, which is in dietetics and nutrition. So currently, by profession, I'm a dietitian working with NGO and definitely doing my freelance practice also. And schooling was in Marathi medium. Then I moved to college, which was in English medium, and now the proficiency I have it's Marathi, Hindi, and English. Currently, since I'm living in North India, that is in Delhi state, so I come across multilingual people, and so I like to talk to people. I like to do the good human relationship with people since I'm a outgoing person. Yeah.
Very nice, Shraddha. You said you have moved or you have practically lived across the globe. How
Yeah.
has this uh, how has this helped you grow as a person, or how has this experience of living in various countries add to your skill set?
Okay. So my first, we moved to Spain. That we were staying in Madrid, and after this was a move after my Pune stay. So what happened in European countries? We all know the language they talk is very particular to that country. So I thought like there will be some barrier about the language when we moved to Spain. But frankly speaking, after going there, we realized that, like, if as a person we are very open, so the language won't have any barrier in it. And in fact, entire my pregnancy delivery happened there. So that was another experience
Mm-hmm.
which was really nice, to know people there. And we were there in Madrid for 1 year. So of course my husband was in scientific community, so there he never felt any problem about the language, since it was in English. But yes, I'm a person who work for community, like the subject nutrition. So I was thinking like the need of that language will be essential, but that was not a problem. And the second country we moved was Germany. Again, it was a different language, and but there, of course, I started learning. I did two courses, so two levels. Uh, I was doing it there, and somewhat I was comfortable with the language. And there I come across one international women's group. So this was the period when my son was just a year old, and we moved to Germany. So my preference was totally for giving my entire time to my child, and that was, we had decided before, whenever we have our child, I will give minimum 2 years to my child. So I was with him, and with this international women group, I came across so many women from different countries, and we had a really good, what do you say, good group, where all the cultural barriers, traditional barriers, I could come over of it. So this was one experience. And
Mm-hmm.
similarly in India also, after moving from Pune, we went to Bangalore. So again, there was a different language, and being a dietitian, I had to mingle with local people over there. So I tried learning the language, not in written, but at least now I can proudly say that I can understand what people are talking in Kannada. So these are the main points which I feel those are important.
Yeah, I mean, language is so very important in European languages, especially if you want to actually settle down and integrate yourself with the local community. So, yeah, learning the language is definitely a plus. And I really like your point when you said that you and your husband took a conscious decision that you would take or you would give 2 years to your child and take a break from your career.
Yeah.
uh, how has that helped your son, and how did you accept, or did you have problems accepting that break that you had to take?
Okay. Uh, right now, my son is 11-year-old, and in that past decade, I can definitely tell that giving the time which I like spent with him first 2 years, that doesn't matter like whether it's a mother or father, but I totally agree that one parent should be there with them in that initial period. And if that is mother, being a home science student, I again go to my studies. I correlate it that I studied child development, I studied adolescence, and then now, in application point of view, yes, it is helping a lot to growing overall personality of my child. I can see the changes in him, becoming confident, becoming smart, then definitely understanding the negatives and positive points of the life, that is helping him. So, and this has come from my mother. So basically my mother also, she always saw to it that, like, yeah, she is always there with us. And since my father was working in Tata Motors, and he used to be out from home full day, and definitely he was into social services also. So many a times he was not with us till late night, but mom was at home to take care of us with our siblings. So this helps a lot. This will give me also in future, I can think about it like, yes, we have given good to our child, and definitely that confidence in him, it will help him in future and for us also being a good parent.
Beautiful. Now, you mentioned that there is no difference whether it is mother or father who stays home, but you also mentioned that being a home science student and moving to psychology a little bit, you find there is a difference when the mother is there with the child, especially during the early years. Could you briefly touch upon that, please?
Yeah. So what happens, like, growing up, the whatever the nature has given, that natural abilities to bring up the child is in women, definitely. But for men, it can be acquired also. And for that, the willingness is very important. So, in that case, being a couple, we both of us were like that. So, I'm proud, I can proudly tell that, like, when my child was born, we were alone in Spain and there was no help, a single help at all. So, all 9 months, we both groomed ourselves also, being a parent, and after birth also, we were like, yes, my mother and father, they came after 5 days, but till that time we are really happy to tell that, like, we were with our kid from the day one, and this has also helped a lot. So being a mother, yes, it will definitely help giving 2 years or minimum 2 years, which I was thinking, because the initial part, that bonding and that security, then self-esteem, all these points for grooming them, the mother is at the center. So that is the thing I felt like it was really important to give these at least minimum 2 years to my child.
Nice. I'm happy that you're sharing this here. So, does it mean that you had to take a break from your career, or were you still practicing? Because nutrition and dietetics is something that you can also practice online. So, were you still continuing with your career, or did you take a break?
Initially, when I went to Spain, actually, the month we went, I was pregnant. So we got to know. And after that, I was before going to Spain itself. I was searching for PhD positions over there, since I was a master's in nutrition, and thought like might as well I can pursue something over there. So in that case, I joined one institute also for my research purpose. But after that, it didn't work, you can say, or there was no fundings or something. That kind of thing came up, and then I left. So after that, I didn't continue my studies as such, or I was not practicing also. So you can say, like, totally for 3 to 4 years, I took total break in my career.
And how did you manage to come back to speed?
Yeah. So after that, when we went to Germany, still I was thinking like if I can pursue something online, but with my son, it was difficult for me, and for the studies also it was difficult. So I used to just to get in touch with whatever is happening. I used to go through all the current researches which were happening in nutrition and dietetics area. Then I used to read it. That's all. After coming back to India, then I joined my previous company itself as a manager. So that's how I came back to my career, and it was like, okay, so I have to groom myself better now, because I had to struggle with the younger generation too. So that's how I pursued again. Went back, I studied, refreshed my knowledge, and came back to this field again.
Nice. It's really nice how things have really worked out well for you. And with your positive attitude, I think you have done really well for yourself. Now, you started as a clinical dietitian and then you moved to sports and then community nutrition. Now you're working. also as a freelance nutrition or subject matter
Hmm.
expert in that.
Hmm.
What made you take up these different variations?
Okay. During our BSc, we got brief about this subject, but after that, over the period of last 15 years, the science, see, nutrition is a science, so definitely there are differences are happening, and new changes are there, which people have to understand it, then agree to it, and then follow to it. So for this purpose, I felt that, like, okay, only if I'm sticking to one particular area in nutrition also, which not help. So first, initially, I was into clinical background. Then after that, it is a happening thing in India also. So there was a better scope, I felt. And for that, to supplementary knowledge, I did courses also. So I did refreshing courses in sports nutrition, where the current practices are emphasis, and which I could practice in my daily life also. After that, when I moved to community, I strongly felt that, like, since the nutrition subject itself, it is community based, so why not I should give back to my own people itself. So community nutrition is totally different than what we practice as a sports nutritionist or clinical nutritionist, because that is very much concentrated in that particular area. Like in clinical nutrition, it is you can do specialization only in diabetes, only in renal. In sports, you can take up one particular sport and then start counseling and guiding those sport persons. But in community, it is from the root level. In India, we have so many people which are malnourished, which are undernourished, which are overnourished too. So I thought that, being a Indian person with so much of different traditional, strong traditional background, if we have to think and do something for our community, will be this community nutrition area. And fortunately, I got into Deendayal Research Institute, where they are working with this core groups, grassroots level groups, and where through my diet or my nutritional knowledge, I can do some changes. That's how I chose now this. And freelance practice, yes, of course, with word to word, word of mouth, I get my clients and I do counseling for them in various sections for full lifespan. So this is the journey.
Hmm. Yeah, I see that you have worked in various fields in your core area itself. Like you worked with perimenopausal women, you have worked with child, early ages, you have worked with adolescent nutrition.
Hmm.
The spectrum is huge. Now, you wanted to create an impact, or you wanted to work for the community, and therefore you said you have taken up, you studied community nutrition. I also see that you have done a very interesting documentation called the Jal and Poshan Sanskriti, based on the
Hmm.
folklore. Can you please talk about that?
Yeah. So recently, what happened when I joined Deendayal Research Institute? This institute is working with underprivileged people in very remote area, and while going there and working for past 4 decades, the leaders over there, they came to know that we have such a beautiful knowledge of our traditions in a folklore. So what happens? I can give you one example. While in India we have customs and rituals and traditions, while, like, when you're pregnant. So pregnancy is such a beautiful age of that person, of that woman, that gives the entire responsibility of being a mother also, and to the new coming child also. So for this we have a tradition of god bharai, or in Marathi it is called Dohar Jeevan. So this Dohar Jeevan or God Bharai, this tradition is such a beautiful that wherever you go to Maharashtra, you go to Andhra, whatever the particular food availability is there, that kind of food is given to that lady, and that is more nutritious. And during that, the songs are they sing the songs which also says that why she should eat that, why she should eat this, why she should do like this, which will give a good bringing up to the child also. So this is basically the mind and bodies and soul goes hand in hand, and this emotional bonding is very important with our roots. So this kind of things we are documenting, and it is such a wonderful thing. Like there are so many folk stories also with tribes, with different communities. They are literally keeping this and giving it back to their new generations also. So this knowledge, how we can cooperate with them and then give it back to the entire society or the upcoming generation, which I feel with, very very important. See, we have agricultural universities, we have nutritional universities, but this bridging is not happening. And this bridging, I always feel that with the entertainment point of view, if we join both this through folklore, this will help a lot. So, another example I can give you, I came across one folk story which is from the tribe. So she says that like that the tribe lady, she wanted to feed one pass by. So he asked like what will you give me to eat? Then she says I will give you 40 years old grain to eat and a 4 days old vegetable. Sorry, a day old vegetable. So he didn't understand. And then she explains it, I will give you bamboo rice roti, which comes only once in 40 years. And these tribe community, they gather this and keep it for the future use. And another 1 day old vegetable, which is mushroom. So this is the knowledge which they have it, and definitely now we can understand how nutritious that food could be. So from this kind of things, we are able to understand the modern science also and our nutrition also through traditions. So this is the project which we are doing it for nutrition. Similarly, for Jala Sanskriti also, we all know water scarcity is there. We need to work it on water conservation and everything. But definitely, if we have that emotional bonding with water bodies, then only we can go forward. So right now, if we are seeing kids, they just drink water from the bottle. And if we ask them from where the water comes, they don't know from where it comes. So this is very scary. So to understand them, if we take them to the ponds, if we take them to the water bodies like wells, then there they will understand, okay, if the water is there inside the well, then only we can get it at our home. And for that, there are different folklores which people already do it in the state of Rajasthan, where the water scarcity is so much that people still do the Kuwa Pujan, or on the birth of the child, they do Jalva Pujan. That is also related to emotional bonding with the water. So these kind of things will definitely help, and that's why this documentation we are taking up.
Very interesting. Interesting work, and also I would say very pertinent in today's times, especially
Yeah.
now that we have a lot of lifestyle issues, lifestyle diseases like diabetes, cholesterol, or blood pressure, obesity, so many of these things. So we have an audience question here who asked, how can having this or how can following this Jal and Poshan Sanskriti or
Hmm.
having ethnic food help us combat these lifestyle diseases?
Okay. I can give one example of my grandmother. I remember she used to do 4 days a week fasting, and still she was so fit till the age of 89. And
Hmm.
now I can realize that like her lifestyle. What we say now, we have like fast lifestyle, and the lifestyle has changed. Because of that, we get so many disorders also. And frankly speaking, yes, myself also I don't follow that kind of lifestyle. So I'm sure I can say that, like, I won't be so much like, I will not be able to live long how she. But what I remember, she used to get up at 3 in the morning, and she used to go to bed at night, at 8 o'clock. So that was her lifestyle. And during the fasting time also, now this intermittent fasting and all these new things are coming up. They are so hyped up. But I remember that she was doing intermittent fasting only that time. And that's how she could survive well. And what she was eating, she was not eating all this thalis, vrat thalis and all which we get right now. She was eating roots and tubers. She was eating vegetables. She was eating nuts. She was eating milk and milk products, which were definitely nutritious and giving her required energy, protein, all the micro and macronutrients. So that's how the life used to be. And now also, if we, with this current lifestyle, if we can do some changes, modify our daily needs and dietary guidelines, if we follow properly, then also we will be able to live proper life. So this is the thing why we need this nutritious diet also. And what we need, see, western influence is lot, but why? We have so much of thing in our own hand, in our own ancestors have given all these details to us, then why not go back to them and follow it? If we go back to our ancestors' lifestyle, then definitely this will help us in this current situation, because already there are so many what do you say, the problems are, have arrived, like about the food quality also, then water quality also, air quality also. So all this we have to combat it. And with the our natural lifestyle, if we can do this, then it will be a helpful.
Very nice. Now, what is your motivation into working with the Deendayal Research Institute or working as a community nutrition? Um, was it always like this when you started your bachelor's and when you finished your bachelor's up to now, or did something change in between in your thought process?
Okay, so when I finished my graduation or post graduation, I joined hospital immediately. And I there basically what happened was, like, my senior dietitian, she went on pregnancy uh, holidays. So I took over as a department head. And there I came across so many people. And since hospital job is also a community service, you can say, so from different different areas people come there. You come across so many different patients from different economic status, different communities. So their eating habits also differs, and still you have to counsel them to come across with the problems. And after that, what happened, my dad, he went with this Deendayal Research Institute 2000 sorry in 1998 with Nanaji Deshmukh. And from that itself, I was like, okay, this will be also a good scope of my area, because the diet which I'm thinking of is for each and every person. So, like how it was always there in my mind, after some particular practice, doing practice in clinical or sports nutrition, or after that, I would like to go back to community nutrition. And that's how in my current years also, along with my family, I'm able to do this. Because what happens in hospital scenario also, I have to work like in shifts or 9 hours job. and it will be a typical hospital dietitian job which I was not looking for. So right now I can give my time to my family also, and of course along with that I can pursue my career simultaneously. So this was the thing. In between I'm just working on it, and right now I feel that I'm satisfactory working in this area itself. So I always look for my jobs where I get full satisfaction.
Hmm.
So job satisfaction is very important for me.
So what is your mission actually in life? To first of all to take up nutrition and dietetics, and then continue along the same line, because we know, I'm an engineer. We all do engineering in India, only to take up something totally different later on in lives. But
Hmm.
you have chosen nutrition and dietetics, and you have stuck to it. So
Hmm.
what what motivated you to take up this subject?
The motivation is, you can say, a science, and I definitely didn't wanted to go for engineering or medical or this routine career in my life, and so I chose this. I wanted to be in a paramedical. And from the day one I joined home science, I had decided like I will take up this nutrition itself, because there was a Ayurved background also in my house. And from childhood also, my mother, my grandmother, other family members, what the kind of food they eat, everything was impacting me. And that's how I chose this as a career also. And it's a day to day life. So now also I can tell myself also how to take care of myself, and then I can tell others also. So basically the role model I wanted to become, and again to shape up the surroundings also in a healthy way or in fit way. So that is the thing. And again my nature is like talking people. I'm talkative. I'm a very much social person. So I like to understand people problem also, and work on them also with them. So it's not a guidance. It's not like I'm giving them only the you do this, you do that. No, it's kind of a guidance also, and I learn from them also a lot. So this qualities of mine, I am totally agreed that it was a good decision that I am into this profession.
Hmm. Um, Generally, I have observed that this is a field that is mostly chosen by women. Correct me if I'm
Hmm.
wrong.
Hmm.
Is
Hmm.
that the case even now, or do we have a gender parity in this profession?
The percentage have increased, as in I have male dietitians also as an acquaintances. So in few states, you can say, few universities which are affiliated with normal state universities, they have nutrition department where both the gender they can learn and get the graduation certification or degrees and masters, but the percentage is very low. And it was a woman gender, you can say, the influential area. But yes, because of that there are some hazards also, you can say, in this career. The scope also is limited. And similarly in India also, being a dietitian, this profession has developed, I can say, past 20 years. So when I finished my graduation, that time there was no scope as now the new aspirants are getting it. So the change has happened, and gender parity also is not there now.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Do you still have a lot of girls aspiring for this program, and what is their motivation to get into this profession?
Now also I see that like this profession is taken by girls just to finish the course, or they just want the degrees. So I strongly feel that like this should not happen. This is such a wonderful career, and whoever is inspired also, they should stick to this. I've seen so many girls, they take this dietetics degree and then change their fields, or they don't work also, they just get married. So before also this was like that, like home science लेके क्या करना है, why are you taking the home science, because you don't have anything else to do. That was the notion when I also joined it. But that I didn't do that, and now there is percentage this also. Girls are doing masters, girls are doing PhD also in this. So during my BSc and MSc, PhD facilities were not so high in India, but now it is there, and girls go to abroad also to do MS in nutrition. So scenario is totally changed now, and there is a lot of scope in this because it's a science of your day to day life.
What is the biggest or the greatest impact, according to you, that a dietitian or a nutritionist can make to an individual and to a community?
Okay, uh, from the birth till your death, the basically your body, mind, on and soul, if it goes in hand, then you will live your life fullest, and that comes from the I can say like from the Annaprashan ceremony which we do, and much before that the lactation also, that also helps a lot. So basically growing up a new individual from as a mother, it will help from the birth of your child, and at different stages of life. Yes, with this lifestyle disorders, non-communicable diseases, then growing, these are environmental factors, then your quality of air, water, food, everything, the diseases like cancer, all these things are growing. So to fight this, if we take or if we counsel them at earliest with their proper nutrition or dietary guidelines, with natural local food choices, you can say, this will help, and that is what a dietitian should do. So this is very important, and the degrees which I'm taking, like I can say like I'm a master's in nutrition, so that is also very important. Now with this short courses also, many dietitians, they call themselves dietitian, but the knowledge is very less. So with the professional career oriented dietitians, if you get the advice or guidance for your entire life, it will be helpful.
It's very interesting that how by following a proper nutrition pattern or by following a proper diet, one can influence the or one can take great care on the health of the baby that is due to be born. Very nice, Shraddha. So, in your journey
Hmm.
um, to coming to do this research that you're doing at the with the rural and tribal people, what are some of the challenges that you're facing as a program director? I think you're a program director, right? Associate director.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, what are some
associate
of the
director.
challenges? Sorry?
Yeah, associate director.
Yeah. So, what are some of the challenges that you're facing with your team in getting them to uh, join you in your mission?
Okay. See, basically, when we are talking about the traditions and customs and our roots about the nutrition or water culture, what is happening? People have gone ahead with the modern science, you can say, which is, of course, it is important, and the validation for our traditions, which we are looking forward. So molding people attention and making them understand this subject, it is, we are facing a problem, because many of them, they must have heard this somewhere, but they have not understood it well. And now we are coming across that, like, this was this kind of knowledge which is there, that generation is in their 70s and 80s, and after that there is a humongous gap. So maybe one or two generations have not been in touch with these kind of traditions, and or probably they do it, but they do it just the sake of doing it. They don't go into the depth, what is the importance, what was the importance of that, and why it was connected with our daily life also. So these things, if we want to revive it, then awareness is very important. So that awareness creating, we are facing a problem, and molding their thinking process also, we are facing a problem. So these, after talking to grassroots levels, we feel that, like, whatever the documentation will happen, if we put forward in a modern way, like taking use of this internet or technology, then they will understand it. So this will be our motto of doing it in future.
Working through the cultural aspects and the traditional wisdom is a challenge. And I hope you succeed sooner rather than later in convincing your team so that it gets a bigger impetus in towards the bigger mission that you have.
And many a times, one point I want to mention, what is happening, like, being a strong career professional person, when we reach to them, maybe the grassroots level people, if we go like, okay, I am going to teach them something, they will not come closer to us. But what we have found it out, we always go and tell them, like, what you're following it, how you're following it, how it is helping in your life. So when we ask them, they open up. So this is also very important. So with professionals, it is different. With grassroots level people, it is totally different. So with grassroots people, when we ask them, they will come to us. Otherwise, in professionals, it happens like, no, I know everything, so I will tell them something. No, we are just not doing this. We are going to them, we are asking them to tell us what they are going through. So this point is also very important, I feel.
Hmm. Yeah, in the end, it all comes down to the communication skills and how likable you are. But generally, likability as a factor is considered negatively for women. So, your thoughts on that, please?
Sorry.
So, likability, how much we like a person, is
Mm-hmm.
it's negatively correlated for women. And
Mm-hmm.
women who were regarded as successful were viewed as unlikable because of their the grit and the resilience that they show. They are probably seen as
Mm-hmm.
not so likable. Have you faced this kind of dynamic in your office or in your workspace or wherever?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
No, because ultimately it depends, like, how you are talking to a person. That is very important.
Hmm.
And so I feel, for me, it's not a barrier at all. So I can reach to any people with any age, and I can talk to them freely.
What are the three things that you do to relieve your stress from your daily work or?
First and most important thing for me is positivity. So I keep myself positive always, and I have faith in myself. So that faith is also important. If I have faith in myself and trust in myself, I can trust others. So with this, I always think that like I'm not stressful, and if I'm stressful, also some hobbies like listening to music, or I go for walks. So the exercise is also a good stress buster. Then I watch some series, serials from the net or Netflix or anything. That is also there. So there is nothing much beyond this I do for stress, but as a stress buster. So I see to it that like I don't get stressed up basically.
That's the best. But yeah, it all
Yeah.
sums up to having a healthy mind and a healthy body.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Shraddha, for being with us today and sharing your journey through nutrition and dietetics. And
Thank you
thanks
so
you.
much
Thank you
for
once again.
giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Shraddha. Take care. Bye.
Yeah, bye. Thank you.
Shraddha so truly spreads her love for the land and the emotional bonding through her speeches and publications, helping the generations to realize the value of ethnic foods and traditional wisdom. Thank you, Shraddha, for your valuable contributions. Salutations to such inspirers in our lives. Thank you so much for listening in. I hope you liked this conversation and found it inspiring. If you think this could help transform minds, please share this with like minded people. You can listen to this podcast, The Impressive Empress, on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Podbeans, Stitcher, and Player FM. Got a question that you want me to ask our next guest? Please do write to me at empress at Bhogya.online. EMPRESS at BHOGYA dot online. Please subscribe and follow the Impressive Empress on Facebook, Instagram, or Pinterest. Bye. Until the next time, take care.